Okay.
Double header day once again creeps up upon us.
Yes. After 5, you may say, yesterday one streak ended to last ball thrillers. It ended.
But one streak hasn't ended, and that is of home teams losing their matches.
Yes, and
that streak is breaking today.
Yes, that streak is breaking today. But who is going to break it? Because the first game is RCB versus Delhi Capitals, and the second game is Lucknow Super Giants versus the Punjab Kings. One has been played at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium. Conditions in Bangalore at this point in time are steaming. It is absolutely hot. It's a flat deck with short boundaries. Graveyard for bowlers as always. The second game is at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow, where the pitch quality has been very poor in this IPL as compared to the other games that are there.
Let's not forget there was one of the matches as well, right? The ODI matches wherein they dished out a ranked turner. It was in Lucknow only. The first match, Hardik Pandya had complained about this pitch.
Yes.
He said a thing or two about the curator there. And since then, by the way, you've gotten good batting tracks over there. The first match between Delhi and Lucknow ended up scoring about 193 if I'm not wrong. The other match as well, I think again there were runs here.
No, the SRH LSG game
that was 120 odd. Yeah.
Curator was dropped or something.
Yeah, that was for in
the India-New Zealand team.
Yes.
Guys, just one thing I have to point out. Some of our commenters are pointing out we have breached the 150k mark.
Thank you.
All thanks to our family members only. It's because of their love, their passion, their dedication. It is because of them that we have reached this milestone of 150k. 150,000 thank yous to each and every family member.
Yes.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It's indeed a great occasion, because I remember for me and Shane, we joined last year only in the IPL.
We were about half.
of this. And to see it get to 150k, even Anurag, our producer, he also joined at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, we are very happy about it, because when I saw today morning, while doing the morning of 150k, wow. So this indeed, it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you so much indeed.
And we could have been late on 149,000 times, but we've not failed to entertain you on all those occasions, even though we've been late at times. So bear with us in the future as well.
Lots of fun. Some controversies, some debates, some disagreements, some agreements, but that is how we play the game. That's how sport is.
Some jumping around.
Oh yes.
Some mimicking. Some horrible predictions.
Yes. The greatest streak after The Undertaker.
Oh yes.
Yes. 082.
No, but you came close in one of the last games.
That's what the streak ended.
Exactly.
I came close. So 82 consecutive matches, I had not predicted the score, right? That day it ended. Nowhere else in the world you'll get this streak.
I've got the right win prediction except yesterday.
The high
That day, by the way, when you predicted 175, that was exactly the score, and we were just talking about it.
Yep. So that is why, enough of the celebrations. I'll go on throughout the day.
Oh yes.
But the first game, today Gargi cannot stop smiling because
We're going to see RCB play.
and
She's conceded defeat already. She didn't say that. She could have very well said today we're going to say RCB win. But she didn't play.
Cheating, what the heck?
That's conceding defeat already.
Says the person who is not wearing any Delhi Capitals related memorabilia today.
where's your jersey? Where's your cap?
I'm still wearing Delhi colours in some way.
I'll switch to Hindi. उन्होंने इसको टोपी पहना दिया. They've not won a single match.
See,
But
when Harshal decided to wear the jersey, Delhi lost very badly. When he decided, okay, I'm not going to wear the jersey, I'm just going to wear the cap, Delhi lost even more badly. But the cap at least was changing luck for you.
It wasn't.
Mumbai, Delhi, it went to the last ball.
That was courtesy Mumbai, not
Actually,
Delhi.
True.
Some
They
silver
had
lining.
no
But today,
business
I consciously decided not to bring in any Delhi guy today, thinking that this will be the change from the previous 4 matches, because otherwise I definitely had some Delhi Capitals merchandise on me. Maybe this sort of brings in the change in luck, but I'm still wearing the Delhi blue in some way, some color resemblance at least.
Okay, so 2 teams who are struggling at this point in time. Royal Challengers Bangalore. I mean, how much ever we try to praise them, how much ever we try to put them on a high pedestal, maybe this year, but they flatter to deceive every single time.
And you can't even tell what's wrong because they've got a great squad.
On paper.
What is the problem?
Yeah, actually, if you look at it on paper, this squad had pretty much all bases covered. I'll tell you how. Yes, the absence of a
Spin
Hazelwood.
department.
Yeah, spin department.
It looks a little thin. Karan Sharma is leading them in the spin department, and without Hazelwood, it runs even thinner.
That's the problem. They're missing key players. There's no Wanindu Hasranga.
Today he might be available.
Today he might be available. If he is there, then I think that changes a lot, even though his form has been mixed in recent times. But let's see. Him not being there, Hazelwood not being there, Harshal losing his form. Because last year, Harshal was a bit hit and miss.
Yesterday, last year as well, was he?
But last year he was hit and miss. And I still gave him some leeway. You know why? Because he suffered a very unfortunate tragedy in the middle of the tournament.
Yeah.
So I put it down to his loss of form. There were some games, by the way, he did very well in the death alongside Hazelwood. So one of their biggest problems this year is having to bowl Siraj there. I'm sorry, that guy is terrible in the death.
By the way, since I was writing the preview for this match, one of the things I read about is how horrible they've been, let's say, in the death. RCB and the next best, rather the next worst, I should say, has been Lucknow. In the previous match, they'd given away somewhere around 107 runs in the last 7 overs.
They had
That's
Jaydev and Uncut bowling in the death.
Criminal. That's just criminal.
So, okay, Gargi, RCB. Today with Wanindu Hasranga's potential return, is that going to change RCB's bowling fortunes, or do you think because they're playing at the Chinnaswamy, you get even the greatest of bowlers in the world, it does not make a difference because the pitch is so flat and also the boundaries are so small? What is your take on it?
Obviously, Hasranga brings in that factor. It will elevate the squad, but then again, like you said, we're playing at the Chinnaswamy and it is a batting paradise. But I think what will really make a difference today is the toss and who bats first.
Do you think since it's the first day game that they're playing at the Chinnaswamy, will the team winning the toss, they'll bowl first or will they bat first? Because if on a day game, supposing it's extremely hot in Bangalore, or 40 plus in the Garden City, ironically.
It's 40 plus there?
Yes, yes. It is not the Bangalore of 10-15 years ago when even 35 would seem to be high now.
Yeah.
It's 40 plus and it is absolutely boiling at this point in time.
Right.
If you win the toss and bat first, do you think because it's a day game there will be no moisture, will become sluggish as the game goes on, or will you go for convention? I know a target is in front of me. I will go and bowl first and then I will chase it down.
Of course, I think practically you want to bat first because then the dew factor will come in later in the day, and then
But day game, are we looking at dew here?
Yeah, 7:30 around 6:37 it will.
It
But
does
the game,
change.
down a bit.
but the game would have been over by then.
You're being very generous to them and them completing games on time.
Yeah, even if you take it to be 4 hours, let's say 3:30 you start, 7:30
No,
you're
but
done
still
away
it
with.
does come in effect a little bit during like,
By
this
about
timing.
6:30 when it is twilight and the sun sets down, at that time you will get a bit of
That affects when you're chasing, because if you're chasing a big total and the dews coming in, outfield is getting slower, that does make a difference. So I believe practically you want to win the toss and bat first, but
Apart from Hasaranga, do you think with Harshal Patel going for so many runs, and also remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first game ever since Harshal's missed run out opportunity?
Yeah.
Or was the Kolkata game after that?
No. Kolkata game was before.
Yeah, the LSG game was the last one that RCB played.
Do you think that because he's on also, apart from that personal loss that he had last year, he also had a bad shoulder injury also. Do you think now it's time that you say, okay, why don't you take a break, get somebody else in? Does RCB have the depth? Or do you think they will persist with Harshal? If he leaks runs, then you're only damaging his career in the long run also, if you look at it.
who are on the bench? I
That's
don't
the
think there's no one who can replace, because Josh Hazelwood is already out, and if you put Harshal on the bench, who are you getting in? There's no one there.
They are thin, so that is the major issue. But if you have to say, Harshit, if you look at the home advantage, Gargi is confident that the jinx might end today because it's DC, and there is confidence for RCB because Delhi have lost 4 games, and the nature of their losses, barring the Mumbai Indians loss, I think it's been pretty one-sided when you look at it. But for me, what do you think? Aksar versus Virat Kohli. Is that the contest which is going to determine which team wins, or do you think Virat Kohli, we are making too much of his struggles against spin?
By the way, since we've talked about Virat Kohli, his struggles, let me also tell our family members about what he said about strike rates.
Yes.
There is something now that he's finally spoken about strike rates, and this is, by the way, happening for 4 days now, ever since that he played that knock against RCB, wherein Simon Dole against LSG, wherein Simon Dole, who was on commentary duty, said that Virat had scored some 42 odd runs in about 25 deliveries, 27 deliveries, and then to get the next 8 runs, he'd taken about 12 balls or so. And since then, we've been talking about strike rate. So Virat Kohli now for the first time has spoken about it. And by the way, since then, you've seen a David Warner get to a half century. You also saw Faf, by the way, play a very contrasting innings the other day. And one more batter I'm forgetting got a half century.
Maxwell.
There was somebody in the comment section also yesterday pointing that out, that look at the double standards.
There was also Rohit Sharma who got
I believe Rohit.
Rohit, yes, there's one more batter, but anyhow. So what Virat Kohli is now...
Yesterday, Brook, because he slowed down considerably against the spinners.
Brook then slowed down, yes. So what Virat Kohli has now said about strike rates is that at times people commentating, and they've been former players themselves, they forget the fact that when you're in that situation, people who are commenting don't always know about that situation. And the second thing is, when the power play ends, usually the best bowler in the sides are then given the ball after the field restrictions are lifted. And it takes about an over or two, that's what Virat Kohli says, it takes about an over or two to understand what the bowlers, and they are very good bowlers, the best bowlers he's saying in the opposition camp that are deployed, and it takes about an over or two for a batsman to figure out what exactly the bowlers are trying to do, which is why you sort of have to change your approach at times. This is what Virat Kohli has said on this whole talk about strike rates happening. But having said that, I'll come to what you asked. If Harshal Patel versus Virat Kohli is going to be the competition to look forward to, or the matchup to look forward to, I don't think so. I don't think that as a determining matchup. And even though, let's say, even if we are to see Virat up against Akshar on this flat deck at Chinnaswamy, I still see Virat having the greater say than an Harshal Patel, who may not, as a finger spinner, get any purchase from this wicket.
I'll just interrupt you guys there. Well, Gargi actually was a little bit wrong, because the Delhi Capitals have won the toss and chosen to bowl. Very surprising.
That's good for RCB, I believe.
And I think it works well for the Delhi Capitals to be winning the toss and knowing what they have to do. If you were, let's say, at Lucknow right now, let's say the batting decks that we've seen so far in the tournament, Lucknow does look like one. I think Mohali also to an extent looks like a batting deck. The other day we saw,
with the exception of the game against GT, it did kind of slow down.
But again, we saw about 200 runs the other day.
150.
150, yes, 150.
Yeah.
And then of course the Chinnaswamy. So again, and also Delhi desperate for a win, rather than just setting a random total. At least you know what to chase. And again, couldn't have asked for a better start, let's say, if you're in the Delhi camp. I know I'm the only one here. But
If Faf du Plessis has said we would have done the same, hopefully it will turn in the second. I cannot see.
Yeah, just zoom in a bit.
There is one change, by the way. There is one change in the Delhi Capitals side, and Mitchell Marsh is back in place of Rovman Powell. Now remember, there have been a lot of comments from our family members saying that, okay, please replace Rovman Powell because he can't play spin
at all.
Yeah, he's not been able to comprehend spin a single bit, and it's glaring. It's glaring to the extent how wanting he's looked, how vulnerable he's looked, let's say. Yeah, he's just not been able to comprehend spinner. Yes,
so two changes for one for each side, because one into Hasaranga comes in for David Willey. I would have honestly dropped Parnell, to be told.
But I think Parnell was good.
No, Parnell in the last game went for like 40 odd runs.
But gave you like a couple of wickets, didn't he?
No, he gave you a couple of wickets, got expensive later on, but Willey does the same.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have gone with Willey because, again, I think as a batsman and as a bowler, both, I would rate Willey slightly higher than Parnell.
Maybe, okay, the pros when you look at David Willey, explosive batter.
Batting, exactly.
Power play striker. He can strike in the power play, but later on he tapers on. That's the one weakness. The other weakness may be a little less variations than Wayne Parnell. Parnell can bowl the cutters. He can vary the pace.
And he can bowl in the death.
No, in that he's hit or miss.
He has bowled, but he's not been setting the stage on fire. Yes, 2 good games combined with 4 bad games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is how we can look at it. So, if you have to look at the batting, then Hasaranga can also bat.
Actually.
And he's been your gun bowler for RCB and for Sri Lanka in the last couple. Although Hasaranga has struggled ever since the Asia Cup. If you look at it, either he's too predictable, doesn't vary his lengths, or he's too much of a googly bowler. Like the same situation that impacted Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah.
So Hasaranga in for we'll be hoping to see who are the 4 impact players from each team and whether RCB would have gone with 4 because Maxwell, Faf, then you've got Hasaranga
And you've got Parnell. So they'll go for 4 foreign players. I think both teams will play with 4.
With
because
4, yeah.
again, you have a foreign captain for one. That always puts you on the back foot when it
And
comes
that's
to...
for both the teams.
Yes, correct. Because both of them have foreign captains. You have Warner that side. So if you have Warner, you have Marsh, and you have the 2 bowlers most likely.
Nortje.
And if I'm not wrong,
Marsh.
Marsh though was there. I already counted Marsh.
Oh.
Last time they were playing with 2
there was Mustafizur.
Mustafiz. There we go.
Right.
Who was good, by the way, barring that one over in which he conceded 2 sixes.
2 sixes, yes.
He was good
Which
otherwise.
is fine for a T20 guy.
But
even then his figures weren't too bad, let's say, but I think it's those 2 sixes that completely changed the momentum.
Yeah.
because I think looking at the way, see, in a game of very fine margins, those 2 sixes, and remember, those 2 sixes came when he bowled that famous cutter of his.
Yeah, I think his cutter is predictable now.
And no, it's not predictable, the length was too short. That
is
is why the
Yes.
likes of Tim David and the likes of
Because
Cameron
it was Fizz, I remember, I think, because Delhi managed to pull the game back in those in overs number 13, 14, 15, 16. They'd only conceded about 3, 4, 2 and 1. I think just about 15 runs they'd conceded in that spell where they managed to grab the runs, and Fizz had bowled 2 of those overs. He was very good in those 2, but then he conceded some runs towards the end, and that's where things changed a bit.
Why I said Fizz is slow one now is also slightly predictable because I think injuries kind of robbed him of a few clicks of pace. The shoulder injuries which he struggled with, why was his cutter so effective? Because at his prime, he was a new ball bowler with, of course, left arm, you get that angle, you get that swing. He was also skiddily quick. So hence his cutters then were suddenly much harder to read. Now he's a 120, 130 bowler, still very accurate. But his cutters, if he misses the line slightly or the length
Same
slightly.
with Harshal.
Yes.
Doesn't have the pace anymore, just about 130, 35 is what he operates. But again, the thing with Harshal is, and I know we've talked about him, but and I think we've been saying this for a while now, that his slow one has become his stock delivery now, which makes him even more predictable as a bowler. He's not added a good bouncer, let's say, or a good Yorker to his armory, which is why, and I think
so
we have
there
the
is-
squad now for the
Okay, so this is
Royal
the 11 of
Challengers Bangalore.
RCB.
So this is the debut.
Yeah, the debut for Vaishak Vijay Kumar.
So the 11 is Faf, Duplessis and Virat Kohli. No surprise there. Mahipal Lomro, just switch tabs, Anurag. I'm sure we'll be able to find it. Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Oh no, there it is. Virat Kohli and Faf Duplessis opening. Mahipal Lomro, not surprised. They really need an Indian middle order bat to fire. Glenn Maxwell, Shahbaz Ahmed, Dinesh Karthik, Wanindu Hasaranga, Harshal Patel, Wayne Parnell, Mohammad Siraj, and the debut for Vijay Kumar Vaishak. Now, this, mind you, will be their batting 11,
Yes.
which means
But they're batting only till number 7.
no.
Harshal, are you counting him as a batter?
Yeah.
Yes, because Wayne Parnell is a better batsman than him and he's coming lower down the order. So I will count up till Wayne Parnell. They bat and Siraj will maybe tonk a couple.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, 9. So they bat until 9. So, but Mahipal Lomro, that is very, very interesting. So, if this is the batting 11, this is
Yes.
the batting 11, right? So maybe your impact player might be Karan Sharma.
Yes, it'll most likely be Karan Sharma only because I think they'll want to, bring in a second. See, the thing with
Remove Vijay Kumar Vaishak and then get in Karan Sharma.
why should you'll remove a batsman?
Exactly.
Lomro, you'll remove Lomro.
Exactly, because then you have Shahbaz who can offer you. By the way, one thing with RCB I really need to point out, please, for the love of God, give Shahbaz Ahmed more overs. What does this man have to do? Against Kolkata, he bowled 1 over, gave away 6 runs. Wasn't bowled after that. Clueless. I didn't understand that. Last game also, I think he bowled maybe 2 overs. I'm sorry, he's a better bowler than that. He's a bit Jadeja-like in the sense that he can really hold up one end.
Yes.
So he can really pile up that pressure, and considering you have a Wanindu there, potentially a Karan Sharma to come in, having a spinner who can hold up one end, fire in those darters onto middle and leg, then get the likes of Wanindu and Karan to weave their magic. That could be a good wicket-taking strategy for them. They need to bowl Shahbaz a bit more.
Yep. And this is the Delhi Capitals playing 11. David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Yash Dhul still keeps his place. Manish Pandey, Akshar Patel, Aman Khan, Lalit Yadav, Abhishek Porel, Kuldeep Yadav, Anrich Nortje and Mustafizur Rahman.
And this, by the way, is their bowling 11. They will most likely bring in Prithvi Shaw.
Like they did the last time.
So then they'll bat till 9 because already now they bat till Abhishek Porel at 8.
Yeah.
That's a deep batting lineup, and considering Delhi's middle order, I think that's a good option to have.
Maybe they can sub Fizz and then get in.
Yes, they'll sub Fizz or Kuldeep.
Yeah.
So
No, but
Mukesh
Kuldeep
Kumar,
also is a good batter.
Mukesh doesn't get this game. Then presently you got Fizz.
Mustafizur.
You've got Fizz, you've got Nokia, you've got Kuldeep, and you've got Lalit, Mitch Marsh.
Yep. So look at the.
But you've got just 5 bowling options then.
Lalit Yadav, Kuldeep Yadav, Anrich Nortje, Mustafizur Rahman, and Akshar
Oh,
Patel.
Akshar also you have.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Aman Khan, by the way, is also a bowling option.
He's a good all-rounder, by the
Exactly,
way.
Aman Khan is an all-rounder. He was part of KKR last year. He was the player that.
But
KKR
is he on the
traded.
bench then?
He's on the playing 11 boss.
Where is he? Why do I know?
After
Aman
Akshar
Khan.
Patel.
Oh, yes.
He was the player that KKR traded for Shardul. This is the guy who was sent the other way.
And both Ricky Ponting and Saurav Ganguly have spoken highly about him, both with the bat and the ball. So in fact, interesting because I think Aman did play the first game. Then the remaining the 2 games after that he didn't play.
Yeah.
So maybe again they've sort of re-strategized today and they're looking at a all new playing 11 of sorts because you first gave
Scroll down slightly.
Riley Russo a couple of chances, then you run out of patience with him, then you thought that okay, Powell should be that guy because Powell for Russo for Powell was the one change that Delhi made, I think, in the 3rd game. And now it looks like they've run out of patience with Powell because they've given him 4 matches and they've not done anything as yet. So an all new middle order for Delhi.
And that's actually been one of Delhi's major problems. Why they've lost 4 games in the trot, is it? Yeah. Because they have, in theory, a set opening pair with Shaw and Warner. Warner's got you runs, but at a terrible clip. Shaw has not even got you runs. Then on top of that, they've chopped and changed their middle order, and I understand why, because I don't think there's a good combination
because
there.
nothing's worked out.
Exactly.
Those are all forced changes. None of them are unforced changes.
Without Rishabh Pant,
exactly.
that middle order looks
But
hollow.
the thing with them is again, none of them are tactical changes or unforced changes. They're all forced changes because you tried players, they didn't work out.
But with a batting lineup like this, and RCB is going to put up a good total. I know that. We all know that it is the Chinnaswamy. Do you think if it goes out to 190, 200, are you expecting that much?
See, I'm expecting RCB batting first, right?
Yeah.
I'm expecting them to get at least anything close to 200. You have to.
A lineup like this can chase that?
No, that's what worries me. Because again, if you look at the opening, right now it's Warner and Marsh, right? But of course, Prithvi Shaw is going to get subbed in and slot right there. Mitch Marsh is your best middle order bat right now.
Yeah.
Yash Dhul, new. Yes, plenty of potential, very new. Manish Pandey is a proven performer, but hasn't been the same player since maybe 2017.
Right.
He's, at KKR, I remember him. He was at his best when he used to accumulate runs and not have to worry about strike rate. Here, he's unable to accumulate runs and strike rate has gone for a toss. Akshar ideally needs to be batting higher up the order, but then where do you bat Manish and Yash? That's the thing. Aman Khan, again, plenty of potential. Same with Lalit Yadav, same with Abhishek Porel. But this batting lineup does not inspire that much confidence in me.
And the thing is, even if Parthiv Patel, sorry.
Akshar Patel?
No. Prithvi Shaw comes in. I always call him Parthiv Patel for some reason. If Prithvi Shaw comes in, you've got an opening pair that are likely similar kind of batting.
Not anymore.
You can't say Warner is an explosive player anymore.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is Prithvi Shaw is not firing as he should. So you've got a similar, what is it called?
A conundrum, let's say. Yeah. And that's the problem with Delhi, I think. There's just nothing clicking for them. Even that bowling lineup, by the way, looks very good on paper. Like the bowling is really good, but it's the 3rd most expensive.
And which is why I'll say that if Delhi are to concede somewhere around 200 runs, I know because again, they'll be psyched again, and anything close to 200 is never, doesn't reflect good, let's say, on the bowling side. It is, let's say, a morale dampener, if I can say. So for Delhi to, let's say, have any sort of an edge in this match, you'll need a very good bowling performance to begin with. And you can't just be saying, okay, we're at the Chinnaswamy, short grounds, whatever, and we can afford to concede those runs. That cannot be the mindset. If you are, let's say, the first target here for Delhi should be, okay, you won the toss, alright, that was pure luck. But having said that, you've done whatever you want to do, that is bowl first. Now if you can restrict the home side to just about 180, if you can, then Delhi tell themselves, okay, first thing of this thing, we've ticked the first box. Now, yes, we do have batting till number 9. Prithvi needs to give us runs. Warner needs to score at a quicker rate, and then maybe slowly and steadily. You need to. For Delhi, you can't expect miracles right now. That is somebody single-handedly like an Aksar or a Dhul to win you matches. That can't happen because nothing's gone your way. For Delhi to get their first win, they need to have it in a very, very progressive manner. Let's say it can't just be something clicks for me out of the box. It has to be very progressive. So, if let's say Delhi again end up conceding too many runs towards the death, if Fizz ends up leaking runs towards the end, if Aksar, let's say, gets tongued, on this flat deck, then again I think Delhi will be in the same spiral all over again.
Before I come to all this, there is one major issue that we have not addressed when it comes to the Delhi Capitals bowling lineup. And that is because he could decide the outcome of what RCB's score is.
Which match?
No. Kuldeep Yadav's lack of form.
Last game, no?
No, actually, if you
through
look at it,
through this season so far,
the last 4 games that whatever Delhi has struggled in, compare that with 2022.
He was very good in 2022.
He was excellent in 2022 until that knee injury derailed him.
Yeah.
But in the starting 4 games, I'm sorry to say, Kuldeep actually has struggled. Even in the game against Mumbai, Aksar was drying one end up. He was drawing the runs up, but Kuldeep was not even able to do that. And
last game he had a very, very bad game.
And also remember, he's coming at a venue where, supposing if he gets hit for a 6, he gets hit for plenty of runs, his confidence could go down. Remember, the likes of Virat Kohli has fallen only once to Kuldeep ever in the IPL. Same with Aksar. Aksar has dismissed Virat only once. But if both can change their fortunes around, if you want to say, okay, let me try and ensure I get my form back, they have to, either one of them has to dismiss Kohli.
Yeah.
Because he's superb against pace. See, he's going to deal with Nortje pretty well. He's going to deal
But that's what, since we speak about Delhi Capitals and their bowling, one of the changes that and I would like to see is Nortje not being introduced in the 4th or the 5th over. That's what happened against Rajasthan. That's what happened in the previous match as well. The likes of Khalil and the likes of Mukesh Kumar, they failed, or they have failed, let's say, struggled in the initial couple of overs to pile that pressure on, regardless of whatever, assistance you're getting from the track or not, or from the conditions. And Rick Nortje, regardless, with his express pace, is an X factor, and he is somebody that the opposition will always plan for.
Yes.
So when you have somebody like an Andrik Nortje, who with his raw pace can actually derail and disrupt, or rather just just play in the minds of the opposition batters, he needs to be introduced much before those 30-40 runs are already scored.
the problem with that is, I think Nortje is also probably one of your better death bowlers.
But then you'll save 2 overs of his for the death. Agreed. And he bowled a brilliant last over the other day against Mumbai. But even then, see, by the time what has happened in the previous 2 matches is, by the time that he's been introduced, let's talk about the Rajasthan game. Yashasvi had scored 20 runs in the very first over. In the next over, there are another 20 odd runs that were scored. So it was 40-42 anyway by the time that he was introduced. Now the batters are set, and the moment you get those first quick couple of boundaries, then again you're very much there. You're in the groove. With that raw pace, you can't be introducing him so late just for damage control.
Yes.
You need to be having an attacking mindset.
Gargi, are you happy with the RCB team? I mean, what has been chosen, the playing 11, and also with the subs? Because you want to see Karn Sharma mostly be the track. No, have to be. I mean, see, if you were the captain, would you have made, say, in the batting lineup, would you have added someone else that you had in mind? Maybe a Suyash Prabhu Desai, because remember, Suyash Prabhu Desai has been in better form and also did well in IPL 2022 for RCB. Remember, it was the likes of Shahbaz and Suyash Prabhudesai also who were giving you runs, quick runs in the middle overs.
When it comes to RCB, I don't think batting is that much of a threat as of now. I think it's the bowling that we have to work upon, especially death bowling. They need a specialist right now because things are looking great.
RCB fan, solve this greatest mystery of all time.
Yeah.
Why has RCB never been able to produce good bowling? From 2008 onwards till now. Because even in your peak, 2016, Kohli in great form, De Villiers in great form, Gale in kind of okay form but still in good form.
His good form, his bad form is good form for most people.
Dilshan was there, Rahul was there, KL Rahul.
Yeah.
Yet...
I don't know, that's the thing. I don't get it how that happens. You always have a great batting lineup and then somehow you miss out on, I don't know, maybe it's RCB management that tends to focus more on batting and getting as big batters as possible. I'm not sure what happens with them.
Exactly. I think that is part of the problem when it comes to management because we've seen it now happen with the WPL as well.
Yeah.
Great batting. Look at that batting and you're like, oh man, they have to win everything. Except they didn't.
They didn't.
They won 2 matches.
What they also do is sometimes because RCB is a expensive franchise, they look for brands. I believe towards players.
It's coming from the fan, by the way.
No, it's
But at times, like we were talking about Punjab yesterday, the idea is, going into the auction is to, because they have such a huge purse, and that's not to say that RCB always had the biggest purse, but Punjab, again, they go, whatever, okay, let's pick this superstar, let's pick this one, whatever we've got, whatever assortment we managed to have, now let's play with this. They forget everything and anything, they're like, okay, we need superstars, so we'll go for a Karan, we'll go for a KL Rahul, we'll splash our money here, we'll splash our money there, we'll get them, and okay, so this is what, so I've got the most expensive ingredients in my kitchen, but I don't know what I had to cook.
It's reminiscent of, and I'll draw a football parallel here, the Galacticos of Real Madrid. Every year, and for those of you who don't know, the Galacticos of Real Madrid is basically a policy started by the current president, Florentino Perez, where every year he wanted to bring in one superstar name.
Yeah.
It didn't matter, by the way, if they played in the same position or if they were all attackers. In fact, at one point when they signed David Beckham, he was a right winger. When they already had Luis Figo, who was also a right winger.
Yeah.
So
there have been a lot of comparisons made between RCB and...
Yeah, there's just one difference though.
Yeah.
Real Madrid actually wins.
They win titles, yes.
It weirdly works for them.
Yeah.
I do not know how it does.
Which is, let's say, since we've drawn that analogy, they did, by the way, the Galacticos struggled to land a domestic title for a good, 7-8 years.
Correct.
But then they managed to win the Champions League finally after 10 years.
And then they wanted like
so
4
for
or 5
RCB,
years.
they'll also want that the Champions Trophy to be reintroduced, perhaps.
No, but even in the Champions League T20, they struggled.
Yeah, true.
No, they played more. They were the team that qualified the most consistently. CLT.
Are we waiting for Virat Kohli to cite that also as an example the next time he's asked about qualification scenarios?
No,
He did the other day. He
Virat
did the other day without being asked, by the way.
That was a horrible comparison on his part though.
Yeah,
but I think, if you're looking at, I agree with Gargi here, is that if you're looking at, okay, thanks for rolling the football to us.
Yeah, for Real Madrid analogy.
Is that if you're looking at them, their bowling is the only problem. That batting, and by the way, I'll draw a parallel to another team this year, CSK. The bowling doesn't give me any confidence.
Mumbai.
Mumbai is worse off. At least with RCB and CSK, you can say you can pinpoint 2 good bowlers. With Mumbai, I can pinpoint 1 good bowler. That's it.
Okay.
Jofra.
I think that's what Mumbai. See, Mumbai again. They've been unlucky as well. They didn't have Archer one season. This year they've not had both. Bumrah again, they had last season, didn't have this. So you could have said, let's say going into the auction, if let's say I don't have Bumrah, I have Archer to rely upon. At least that. But with RCB, we have Hazelwood. But then who after Hazelwood?
The problem, I see, that's what I'm saying. Last year, if you look at their bowling, it was really good. It wasn't as bad as it is now because you had Siraj when he wasn't bowling in that very, very, very good in front of, in the front end.
Yeah.
Hazelwood was trying things up at the death. Harshal was hit or miss, but at least he was hitting sometimes. This year he's only missed. That's the problem. No Wanindu. Wanindu last year was a champion at getting them wickets in the middle overs. He would get them wickets consistently. People tend to forget that he missed out on the purple cap by 1 wicket.
1 wicket, yeah.
26
1 wicket, yes,
as
26.
against 27 that
exactly. And by the way, Chahal would played, I think Wanindu would have played more games.
No,
Chahal would have, no? Chahal went all the way to the final.
Correct. Oh yes, RCB lost the RR lost the qualifier one. Yes, yeah. So he played that extra game and only 1 wicket. So Wanindu was really good for them. This year they've had no Wanindu. Karan is kind of hit or miss as well. So their bowling was fine. Actually, what really got them was the injury to Hazelwood.
Yes.
Because without Hazelwood, their death bowling just fell apart. With Delhi and by the way, drawing the Mumbai parallel, with Mumbai, let's assume they had a fully fit, Bumrah and a fully fit Archer. What after that? Cam Green is a one-dimensional hit-the-deck bowler. Their spinners do not inspire any confidence in me. So there are at least 3 bowlers or 3 or 4 bowlers there who I look at say, yeah, you know what, I can get better of him. Or my team's batsmen can get the better of them.
No, I think I will add to the RCB bowling conundrum in a different way. They are unfortunately playing in a stadium that unfortunately does not assist them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the bowlers, okay, there are a lot of our family members.
Look at the dimensions of the ground. One of the boundaries, in fact, is just about 53 meters.
That, I mean, no disrespect, but even we could clear that if we get slot balls.
Now that is the problem. Look at the boundary dimensions, and if you make it see, one season Yajwendra Chahal had a lot of success, and that was the only season where the pitch was slow. And you have to remember the backstory also as to why the pitch became suddenly slow. At that time, they had installed the subsurface aeration drainage system there. What is the subsurface aeration drainage system? If it rains continuously, suppose Bangalore always has had rain a lot of times during April, May and June, okay? It could pour in and around Bangalore for 4 hours and the entire city would be submerged underwater.
But the
Chinnaswamy will still remain bone dry. The outfield and the wicket, it will be bone dry. Only if the rain completely stops, it will take them 10 to 15 minutes to get the ground ready for play. In doing that, they decided, okay, the pitch, unfortunately, because of the renovation and everything, it became slow. After that, it's reverted to type. Now, remember, 3 years you didn't play most of the games in Bangalore. The RCB didn't get a chance to play in their own home, 2020, 2021 and 2022. Now they are back here and it's back to that 2016-15 absolute flat deck. You got a short boundary. How will the bowlers get confidence?
Also, I think this takes me back to another point which we talk about with Kolkata. I remember initially, for years, what used to be their biggest trump card? The spinners. Why? Because you'd have a slow wicket there. And personally, I don't mind if you have a ground of this size, if you have a slightly slow wicket, and give the bowler something. You're giving them a hard wicket with true bounce. True bounce doesn't trouble a batsman. True bounce will be easier to get away. So even the fastest of bowlers here will struggle. And if you're a spinner, if you're especially a finger spinner, not a wrist spinner, you're just lambs to slaughter. So either you slow down the pitch slightly, make it a bit of an even game. Then at least you can say, if they're clearing the boundaries, they're doing so with some skill. Rather than just having a bowling machine chuck balls there.
But right? Gargi, I mean, I will just say one thing: if it's a slow wicket, then the king unfortunately struggles nowadays again.
That is true.
So can they afford to do that also? Change the very nature of the pitch?
I don't think they will.
No. I mean, now if you connect the dots, why RCB have such a batting heavy lineup? Maybe it's because of the Chinnaswamy.
Because of the M. Chinnaswamy, and that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the main reason. RCB have never been able to produce a good bowling line despite having great names like, as Akash Bharadwaj said, Mitchell Stark,
Chahal,
Yajwendra Chahal was there was Dale Steyn, yet they have never been able to do well.
Watson also?
Yeah, Shane Watson was there for one season.
I'll never forget Mitchell Stark for that 1 year when he was bought by KKR very expensively.
9.4.
Yeah, and then pulled out of the IPL. Nonsense.
Yeah, because apparently the thing was he had suffered an injury in the South Africa series, but it got worse, and because of that he had to pull out. He conveyed that message of KKR franchisee also. But at that time his third party insurance that was done. That landed him in a bit of trouble. They said, I think you're faking your injury. We will not give you the money. So he took them to court. And that is when the IPL had to make those payment, this thing. I had done a video on that if a player gets injured before he joins the camp, franchisees are not obliged to pay the player anything. If you get injured during the match.
Okay, so Delhi are opening with spin, it seems.
Aksar.
Most likely Aksar,
Yes.
because Kuldeep in the power play has never been a thing.
And also on this flat deck without any wear and tear in the pitch, why would you go sort of open with Kuldeep?
Maybe, yeah, exactly. No, but Kuldeep, being a wrist spinner, would rely less on the surface.
Yes. But again, I think once there is a bit of wear
But
and
against
tear-
Kohli, would they throw him?
This is Kohli, by the way, was the one who made Kuldeep a legend breaking the tears in the dugout.
But if you look at it, Kohli, the struggles that he's had is predominantly against left arm spin.
But right now, yeah, exactly. You know, if I were in the Delhi camp, I would actually want Kuldeep. And even if, let's say I was Kuldeep, I shouldn't be fearing, let's say, Virat Kohli at the moment. Because if I've been watching the IPL closely, I know a fact that Virat will try to, you know, just ward off the whole spin attack thing at the moment. Yes, of course, he'll try to make the most of the power play. But even then, I can't just be, you know, shielded every time as a bowler. I want to be thrown up against the very best in the business too. Okay,
Business back to normal. It is not here. So,
but I'm happy to see the change. Even then, because Nortje, I don't want to see him after the power play is done, or let's say, you know, when there's 50 overs. 50
do you
overs
agree
already
with
scored.
GGK's comment? If
I
Delhi
do.
can't win against RCB, then they won't be able to defeat any team.
I think I actually would have said that while playing against Mumbai, because they look
comfortably
they
worse
look
side.
the other team that, you know, you could have beaten. But again, with RCB, it sort of gives me the confidence again, and so I'm actually one of those fans who doesn't have an option but to back the team. But even then, against RCB, because I know how inconsistent the team is, I would back Delhi regardless of the form to be able to produce a result today.
Alright, let's actually get into predictions now, because the match is about to
But
start.
before that, will Marsh open today?
No, because they'll get Prithvi and is the impact.
No, that's for sure.
Also, if David Warner is opening slowly, if you put him in the middle order, God only knows what he'll do.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
Starts
that's
with
your
a
answer,
wide.
Akash Bharadwaj, and Said Ibrahim is saying Kohli first over wicket, calling it right now. Okay, we'll hold on to that.
But
Because,
prediction time.
yep, Gargi, what is your prediction?
Okay. 210 RCB win.
Let's go to the other fan, because there's a rivalry going
I'll
on
say
today.
right towards the end.
No. What's the point of a prediction?
Okay, so I'll go with the RCB 185 and Delhi chase it down.
I think RCB get about 204 and RCB win.
Okay. 195 RCB are winning it.
Ooh, 3-1. Anurag, what's your call?
Delhi.
So 3-2.
3-2.
Very, very
Okay,
interesting.
even GGK is saying Virat first over gone. What is it that people are saying? Is Virat Kohli so vulnerable at this point in time?
He's not. That's the thing. He's been playing Pacers very well. What rubbish.
Yeah.
Akash Bharadwaj is saying 208 and RCB are winning.
I think a lot of people today, GGK says 140 and RCB.
There we go.
And that is a 4.
Yeah,
Virat Kohli gets off the mark.
He doesn't struggle against pace, guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful inside out.
Yeah, nice shot. Very nice shot.
So I think we can wait for the first over to bowl. Said
No.
Ibrahim,
Said Ibrahim's withdrawn it now. Too bad.
Okay, Said Ibrahim, you should have seen that.
To be fair, that
Look
flummoxed
at
all
the
of us.
surface,
It's a wonderful surface
Yeah.
for batting.
Yeah. What a good shot also.
Yeah. The paradise for batters. Anyway, we'll join you guys in the middle of the innings. Hopefully, it should be a good game.
Another one.
Another one.
four.
I think we're getting a really good game. If you enjoy bang
Like
batting,
Yagami 300. 300. Oh.
Sagar and other DC fans saying DC favorites.
Yep.
Anyway,
2, but at least there are 2
Three.
DC fans here in the studio. 2 DC fans. I mean, unfortunate. 3 RCB prediction. I mean, I don't know.
one fan and 2 predictions.
2 predictions. Yes.
Okay.
1 fan. Anyway, our major clash is coming up on Monday. Monday is the Kaveri Derby. CSK versus RCB. Yeah, it's called the Kaveri Derby. At least I can give you that other one.
Anyway, we'll join you guys after the match. Thanks for joining
Not
us
mid-innings.
here. Sorry, middle inning of the innings. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I meant to say after the innings. I messed up there. My Kuldeep moment.
Your Kuldeep moment or Akshardeep
Brain
moment.
fade.
Yes, my brain fade. So we'll join you in the middle of this match once this innings is done. Thank you for your company. It's going to be a long day, so stay tuned. And of course, we'll be bringing you all of the other updates from the world of sport as well. So
Yeah,
thanks for
from the
joining.
small Swami Stadium, let's hope we can get a Chinna Swami.
To be fair, I mean it's a pretty small ground. So bye bye for now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Like, share,
Nandri.
subscribe.
Yes.